What's up, FOA Squad? I'm Anthony, and welcome to our channel, Life with Anthony. I hope you guys are doing well out there. Happy whatever day I get to post this video for you guys. All right, guys, so today's video is all about the food that I ate here in Portugal so far. I am on my very last day here in Portugal, which is Monday, and I have the full day to myself, and I don't know what I'm going to do, if anything. But before I get into all the food that I had here in Portugal, I want to mention to you guys, if you are not in tune with the community page, you don't know what has been going on with me the past few days here in Portugal. So when I woke up on Thursday, the day after I made the climb up and walked up all those stairs and walked along that cliff-hanging wall, I woke up Thursday and my hip was killing me. I mean, my hip was hurting so bad I could hardly walk. I didn't get any sleep that first night that my hip was hurting, and it was just unbearable. But me, oh no, me, I decided that I wanted to go out and continue with the tour with the group. I hobbled and hobbled and hobbled that entire day, which I'm pretty sure made my hip injury even worse. So that was a day that I did not listen to my body, but I listened from then on because I missed the next 2 days with the group. I decided to sit in a hotel. Luckily, this was a hotel that we had 3 nights in, so I could stay at the hotel. If it was one of those hotels where we were on to the next hotel and we got all our luggage on the bus and we doing all our walking tours first and then going to the hotel later on the evening, it probably would have been so very difficult for me to manage that day. Well, anyway, that pain, oh my gosh, that pain was just unbearable. And so I was managing the pain with these ibuprofen. I took some ibuprofen every 6 to 8 hours. And then I managed to hobble myself around the corner to a pharmacy. And actually, that's not the pharmacy that I got this cream from. I got this cream from another pharmacy down in another direction down the street. And I like that guy because he was explaining to me the different types of options that I had and how often I can take this and all of those good things that I needed. And I'm quite sure he can tell that my hip was hurting the way he saw me hobble into the store. So, into the pharmacy. So I was putting this cream on faithfully, and I was taking these ibuprofen every 6 to 8 hours, and I can feel each day I was starting to feel a little better each day. Now, from Thursday to Sunday, it took me 4 days to get to a point where I felt like comfortable walking again. I still felt the agitation in my hip. I can still tell that it was still swollen just a little bit, but I was able to walk on Sunday, and I rejoined the group. And when I tell you guys, the group is amazing, because when I got on the bus, everybody was asking me how I feel. They didn't know what happened to me in terms of how they thought that I was just not feeling well. They didn't know that I had a hip. My hip was hurting. So I told a couple people, oh yeah, my hip was hurting. I think it was from me walking up the wall, the stairs, all those steps or whatnot. And so I was really touched by how concerned everybody was. So rejoined the group, and right now on Monday, as I'm filming this video, I can walk my normal way again. I would say that I'm about 95% healed, and I'm going to continue to take the ibuprofen and the cream until I feel 100%. But now I can get up and not be because it was a lot of that going on. And I'm telling you, to try and take a shower and put on your clothes. What put on my clothes was the absolute worst. It was the worst. I had to. I'm not even gonna go into it. But enough of that. And the last thing I want to mention before I get into all of the food that I've eaten here in Portugal is that this is an itinerary trip here. So this trip contained all walking tours. And so, meaning we did a walking tour from 9 o'clock in the morning. Every day started at 9 o'clock in the morning and ended like 5 o'clock. We had one day that ended early, and that ended like at 2:30. But every other day ended around 5, 6 o'clock in the evening. We got back to the hotel. So it was ongoing, and it was walking tour after walking tour after walking tour. It was very informative, and I don't want anyone to get the idea that I'm not enjoying this trip, and I'll talk a little bit about this more at the end of the video. But, and so the reason I'm bringing this up now is because it made it so difficult to film, because I'm either doing this, listening to Antonio, because we had our earpieces and our little walkie-talkie type things with us, and keeping up with him walking. And it was 33 people in our group. So, and it was very busy. Everywhere we walked, it was very busy and full of people. So this trip was very difficult for me to like make an actual video. So that's why I decided to not focus on making videos, but more or less just take as many beautiful pictures as I can. And the last thing I want to mention before we move on is that I have mentioned this so many times in many of my videos that I am not a historical buff. I am more of a visual person. I like to see things, and I like to show you guys what I see as opposed of going through the whole story. And there's no way in the world I would have been able to remember all of the information that was being put in my ear by Antonio to tell you guys, oh, this is the church of whatever. Oh, this is the whatever. So I want you guys to be a little lenient on the way that this next video going to be. Not this video, but when I do a nice slideshow video of all the beautiful places and all the beautiful things that I've seen here in Portugal. I want you guys to understand that this is the best way that I can show you guys my experience of Portugal. So it's going to be great. It's going to have some music behind it. And I don't remember a lot of the names of the churches because we walked into many churches and everything. When we were allowed to take pictures, I did. But it's just no way I could bring you guys the history part of my visit here because I'm not a history person. I'm a visual person. I like to look at things and go, oh man, look at that, or But anyway, enough of that. Let's go right into the food. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's talk about this eating experience. I started out with the fish soup. And you know how you order a soup and you look at it and you're like, okay, where are the main ingredients of this soup? Well, this was a fish soup. So I didn't even see any of the fish. But when I started mixing it up and everything. Oh my goodness, it had so much fish in it. That soup was absolutely delicious. I loved it. I enjoyed it. And oh my God, it was so, so good. So we're starting out really good. Starting out really good now. The appetizer, the fish soup was amazing. I really enjoyed it. Then we moved on to the main dish, which you saw is the codfish and the sweet potatoes, and then it supposedly has like a bed of cabbage or something underneath, which I didn't even recognize until I was almost finished the meal. So the codfish was really thick. It had that crusted topping on it. And from the looks of it, when he brought it out and sat it in front of me, I was like, oh, wowzer, look how thick this piece of codfish is. Now, I don't usually eat codfish because I thought I thought that I had some recollection that the codfish, the times that I did fix codfish, it was very difficult to fix. But I thought since I was at a restaurant, they would know how to better prepare it than I would. So I started eating the codfish and I did not like it. I did not like it at all. It was too thick. It was rubbery. Many parts of it was rubbery. There were some soft parts like on the ends that weren't as thick as the middle or whatever. But I did not like it. I ended up smashing it down, breaking it down, and just, eating it by the flakes. And a lot of the flakes were, again, rubbery. So I did not like it at all. So that was that for that eating experience. Oh my goodness. I kept on thinking only if they would have just sliced it in half and not made it so thick that they could have better prepared it. But no, I did not like the codfish. So let's move on. My next dinner that I had is I said, okay, the codfish was a bust. Let's try a different type of fish. So here is my next fish dinner. Now let's dive into this meal here. This meal here, I would probably say was my favorite meal of the trip. The fish was absolutely delicious. It wasn't thick like the codfish. The roasted potatoes were really, really good. They were seasoned well. And the vegetables, they cut their vegetables up in strips. I've noticed that different places that I've eaten, the vegetables are in like strips, not like whole vegetables or anything like that. But anyway, the vegetables were well seasoned. They were a tad bit too salty, just a tad bit, but still delicious. And I ate everything as you guys saw in the photo. I cleaned that fish out. I ate everything that was on that plate. I absolutely love this meal. And then to end it, I bought the key lime tart. And let me tell you, it was amazing. Oh my gosh, my gosh, my gosh. I could have eaten like 3 slices of that key lime tart. I called it a key lime pie, and the server said key lime tarts. And I said to myself, okay, tart. But oh my God, it was so, so good. I can easily say that this was my favorite meal of the trip so far. Now, I wanted to definitely try, like I mentioned, some of their most popular meals. now that I've taken care of the fish department, I did eat at an Indian restaurant, and I thought I had some footage of it, but I don't. I may have accidentally deleted it to try to get some storage on my phone or whatever the case may be, but I don't see it now. I ate at an Indian restaurant, and I ordered a king prong curry, and I didn't care for that meal neither, because the prawns were really thick, and again they were rubbery. I did enjoy the sauce that the king prong curry was in. I put that all over the rice, and it was really good. Now I also noticed in Portugal that they don't have a whole lot of soda options. You either have Coke, Sprite. They had lemonade, or some. You could get like peach. What was it? Not what was the tea? Iced tea. You can get the peach flavor, the mango flavor tea, or I kept on. I had the peach tea the whole trip, peach or lemon the whole trip, and they served them in these small little cans. I may have a photo of it or may not, but I didn't have a lot of. They didn't even have like Diet Coke. But anywho, let's move on. Okay, some of the most popular dishes here in Portugal is the peri peri chicken, which you guys will see. I'm just gonna put a photo of the peri peri chicken here. I tried that. I absolutely love that. I'm planning on making some of that when I get back home. The flavor of it was really, really good. So I'm gonna attempt to make that on my own. Another one of their famous, most popular dishes is the Portuguese stew. Brace yourself for this one. Brace yourself, because I had to brace myself. Ladies and gentlemen of the FOAs, let's dive into the Portugal stew. All right, all right. Whew, Lord have mercy. Let's just talk about this for a few minutes. I read the description of what this Portuguese stew had in it, and it didn't sound bad. But when I tell you, when they dropped that plate in front of me, I thought, what in the hoot nanny have I gotten myself into? First of all, first of all, it did not look appetizing at all, at all. I just kept on looking at the plate. If the people around me was taking paying any attention to me, they would have been looking at me like I was crazy or something. Because I was literally sitting there looking at that dish, just trying to identify everything that was on that plate or in that bowl. That dish had at least 10 different items. So I tried to recognize the items. I mean, the cabbage, the potatoes, the carrots. I saw that it had two different types of sausages in it. It had something like a pig feet or pig ear type of texture type thing on it. Then it had something like some beef in there, and a couple different types of beef or whatever. I was so overwhelmed at what was sitting in front of me, or what was in front of me. I didn't even know where to begin. So I just took the plate and I started with some basics. I put some rice on a plate. I took the cabbage because I was familiar with cabbage. I love cabbage. I took a potato, and then some of the things, most of the things had two of each item on the plate. How about that? That's what I need, two of each. And I took one of almost everything and put on the plate, and I started there. First of all, that dish had so much food on it. It could have been for two people. It could have easily been for two people. And so I filled my plate up, as you saw in the photo. I got my plate together and I started eating it. And I started recognizing that I did not like several items on the plate, on the dish. So what I did was I had to strategize. I said, okay, I'm going to take the food that I'm familiar with and I'm going to mix it with the food that I'm not familiar with, or the food that I did not like the taste of. So one of the sausages I did like the taste of, so I could eat that by itself. Then there was a second type of sausage on there that I did not like the taste of. And then thoughts start going through my head like, oh my God, I cannot leave most of this food on this table when I'm leaving, and call the waiter and say, can I have my tab? I'm running up out of here. So I started mixing it, and then I knew from the beginning that I wasn't gonna eat all of that stuff, all of it. I was going to say all that mess. And then the texture of, I never liked pig feet. I mean, if you're from the South, my mother loved pig feet. I never loved that pig feet. I never liked the texture, never liked the texture of it. And they had one thing on there that looked like a pig feet. And so I knew I wasn't going to eat that. And then they had another little slimy thing that was, it looked like a piece of fatback or something. Remember fatback? And I was like, oh gosh. Oh gosh. I started feeling queasy. Oh my, for real, I started getting weak because I was like, oh my God, I'm sitting in this restaurant. It was a beautiful restaurant. It was nice, well lit. I was almost afraid to even take photos in there because everybody was so close. And then I just started eating, you know. Rice was my base, you know. So I just was eating rice with everything. And then I ate the cabbage. The potatoes were really good. The carrots were good. What else? The beef was good. I don't know if they had ham, some type of ham in there or not. But that dish was brutal. It was brutal. So I met a couple that I spent some time with, and they ended up coming to the restaurant as I was about to leave. I didn't know they were sitting behind me. And they said, what did you get? So I showed them the photo that I took. He was like, that doesn't even look appetizing. I said, I know, I didn't know it was gonna look like this until they hit the table. And I was like, oh my gravy, y'all, I'm telling you now, if you come to Portugal, if you wanna be daring, because you might like more things on that plate than I did. And then I try to, cover it all up so it can make it seem like I ate most of it and everything. I set the little plate on top of the plate that the food was in, and he lifted it up any daggone way and was like, I was like, oh, here I go. Oh, too much. Ooh, I'm full. Ooh, I can't eat no more. He probably was like, oh, he didn't like it. I'm telling you, I told him, I was like, ooh, I'm full. I can't eat that. I can't eat no more. Oh, no. But anywho, that was a dish that I will never, ever in my life get again. If I ever come back to Portugal, I will not be eating the Portugal stew. Alrighty. What else did I have here? I think that is all for my dinners that I've had here. I still have today. Don't know what I'm gonna eat today. I also went to I had their, let me tell you about this. Let me see what else I want to show you guys. Oh, let me show you guys this. Okay, after I finished the codfish dinner, I wanted something sweet to eat. So I started making my way back down towards the meeting point of the bus where we were getting back on the bus and continuing our day. So I saw that little place that I just showed you guys a few photos of, excuse me, and I stopped in there and I got a pineapple smoothie, and there were 5 school kids in there, 3 girls and 2 guys. They were in the middle of ordering their drinks and everything. So after I got my drink, I took a couple pictures and everything, and I started making my way back down to the bus. And I was walking, and somehow I caught up with the kids. And one of the girls, the school girls, said, "Excuse me, are you English?" And I said, "I am." She said, "You have to try this." And I was like, trying to understand what she was saying. So I opened up my notes section in my phone and I asked her to type it in, and she did. And so she said, "In there," and she pointed to a bakery. Now, I didn't know at the time that she was asking me to go and try one of Portugal's most popular desserts, the Pastel de nata. And I said, okay. And I later on, as I continued my walking tours and everything in Portugal, that every bakery that I walked by in the window, I saw this dessert. So I was like, oh, okay. So I went in there and I bought 2 of them. And I didn't eat them because I just now bought the smoothie. So I ate them like the next day. And here are a couple of photos of the pastel de nata. I'll put some up here. And when I tell you I ate those, one of them the next day, and I ate the other one the following day, because they were really, really, really delicious. I mean, it's an egg tart. It's an egg custard tart type of dessert with sprinkles of cinnamon on it. And when I tell you, it was so delicious, but also so sweet. It was sweet. Now, I don't know from bakery to bakery, are they going to be that sweet? But they were so sweet, and I was like, all I needed was one of these things, I'm telling you. But they were really, really, really good. Oh my gravy, they were. And that's the pastel de nata, one of Portugal's most popular dishes, desserts. And they have a ton of bakeries around here. I mean, they're like everywhere. Every day, every walking tour we went on, we walked past several of the bakery shops and everything. And again, the dessert, the pastel de nata was in the window. But I wanted to share that part with you. But if you get some, you get here, just get one, because they're really sweet. And I didn't have like anything. I had to wash it down with some water. I would prefer to have milk, but it was okay. So yeah, that's Portugal's most popular dessert. Okay, the last place that I wanted to show you guys, not a place actually, the last food that I want to talk about that I had was at the hotel, not a restaurant at the hotel. I went out and got this meal and brought it back. It was during one of the days where my leg was hurting and I had to get out and get something to eat. I had to bear the pain and get something to eat. At this point, I was a little familiar with the area or where the hotel was, and I knew kind of what was nearby. So I discovered that it was a Chinese restaurant nearby. And when I say nearby, this Chinese restaurant was literally, you get out, come out of the hotel, you turn left, and it was like 1.5 blocks up the street. So not very far for me to hobble my crippled self for me to hobble. I was hungry and I was hurt and hungry. And so I had to get out and get me some food. So I went on and hobbled my way up there. And this was after I had taken some ibuprofen and rubbed some of that cream on there. It was like 1 or 2 hours after that. So the pain wasn't as excruciating as it was prior to taking that next dosage of medication. So I managed to hobble on up there, excuse me, and went in and ordered some curry chicken. Now, I am always curious to see how one country fix curry chicken versus the other countries or the United States, where I usually get my curry chicken from. Because you guys know I love my curry chicken. And so, because I knew Asian people were not fixing my curry chicken, it was Portuguese people. So I went in and I ordered some curry chicken and some white rice. Now, here's what I noticed about the restaurants here in Portugal. I had two experiences with this, and that is with the rice. At the Indian place, I ordered the king prawn curry, and the rice did not come with it. The rice you had to buy separate, and that was how it was at this Chinese place. Now in America, wherever I go to any Chinese place, if I get like my beef and broccoli with white rice, my curry with white rice, the white rice comes with the meal. So I did notice that on two occasions here. So I ordered it and I hobbled my way back. I'm so glad I looked into that bag because they did not have no silverware, no food, nothing to eat the food with in there. And I would have been so pissed if I would have hobbled my little self back down to that hotel and open that bag and did not have a fork or anything to eat that food with. And so I'm so glad I looked and I asked them, do they have something that I can eat this with? And when I tell y'all, this guy went to get the fork or whatever, he was gone for like 3 minutes. I'm like, where is he? And I'm standing up there, trying to balance myself because, I'm still a little injured. And it seemed like I was waiting forever. And he came back and gave me this little packet, and it had I looked in it, had like a wooden spoon in there, spoon type of fork thing. And so I took that and I came back to the hotel, and here's a little photo of what that dish looked like once I got back to the hotel. So when I opened it up, the aroma of the curry was amazing. Oh my gravy. It was amazing. I was just sniffing and smelling it for a minute or so. And then, I started eating it. And once again, they cut their vegetables in strips instead of however other way I'm used to. Yep, in strips. And then the spoon the fork thingy that they gave me was not, do I have a, it was not the best thing to eat that type of food with. But anywho, I managed to eat the food, and the curry was okay. It was okay. I mean, it was lots of chicken in there. I will give them that. It was lots of chicken in there. It did have that curry taste, because remember when I went to Japan and I went into a curry restaurant that's supposed to specialize in curry, and that was the worst curry I've ever eaten. Remember that? But anywho, that was not my last dish, but that was just when I put it in the video. Well, all right, guys, that was all of my food experiences that I've had here in Portugal. I would say all in all, it was kind of like a hit and miss. The sea bass was definitely my favorite dish of the trip. And the key lime tart was amazing. The same place that I got the sea bass with. And all in all, the food experience, it's just been hit and miss. I've had more okay dishes than really, really good tasting dishes and everything. When you buy a dish, you want it to taste really good. And the last thing I'm going to mention in terms of buying all of the food that I bought was the food here seems to be very inexpensive. I think the most I spent was for it wasn't even a Portugal stew. It was, wow, which one of those dishes was, I think it was the codfish, because I bought the fish stew and the codfish. It was like $28, $30 or something like that. But that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed this food video of me in Portugal. I feel so much better today. I am walking just about 98% normal. I'm going to continue to take the ibuprofen and the gel until I get back home, because I do have a 10.5 hour flight that I will be sitting down. 10.5. These people are flying me to Madrid. They're flying me to Madrid, then Dallas, and then back to Miami. I don't know, don't ask. But anyway, guys, that's it for today's video. As always, thanks for taking a few minutes out of your day to watch my videos. I appreciate you guys, you know that. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And I do want to say that overall, my trip here is, at first, and on the community page, I said that I was not having a good time. I'm ready to go home, but I think that was the pain talking. I do. I really think that that was the pain talking. The trip, the walking tours, they are all very interesting. Antonio is a great guide, well knowledge and everything. A lot of humor as well. Told a lot of humorous stories, and I did enjoy the trip. I am enjoying the trip. It's just that those 3 days that interrupted the trip with my hip just really made it difficult. But I did enjoy the trip. I don't want you guys to get the impression that I am not enjoying the trip. I did not enjoy the trip. Now, on one of the days that I missed, Gordon, who is the husband of the couple that I met, staying at the same hotels that I've been staying at, he did take a lot of photos and he sent me a lot of photos. I missed the wine tour. They went to a place called Douro Valley, and they had a tour of that place, and they had wine tasting and everything. They said, he and his wife Maisha said that it was really beautiful, and I also spoke to a couple people when I got back on the bus, and they also said that it was really beautiful and everything. So I'll whip those pictures up and send you guys and show you guys those pictures as well in the near future. And the final thing I want to say, good gracious, I done went way past the outro. The final thing was, I was very touched by the concern of the people on the bus. When I got back on the bus and when I was ready to continue enjoying the group, everyone was asking me, was I okay? Am I feeling better? And this and that. So I was very pleased at those folks for being concerned about me. Because I know that Thursday, I know they saw me hobbling around when I should have stayed at the hotel that day. But I was able to stay at the hotel because this particular hotel, we were there for 3 nights, whereas the other hotel, we were there for 1 night, blah, blah, blah. All right, let me stop rambling on, guys. I'll see you guys on the next one.